world, Indigo Flow Arts here, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to ghost. So I want to talk a little bit about ghosting first before I explain how to do it. So basically ghosting is anything where your opposing hand or your non-dominant hand is tracing the hoop. So just a few examples. This is a standard ghosting isolation. And then there's the linear ghosting isolation, or the cat eye ghosting isolation. Outer ghosting isolations. And folding ghosting isolation. So let's go ahead and get started. So for our standard ghosting isolation, you're going to start out in a regular isolation. Okay, if you're still pretty new to this trick, you can kind of use your other hand to just gently support the hoop while you're isolating. And when you're ready, you're just going to trace your opposite hand along while you continue the isolation. And notice at the top here, I'm doing a grip change. So this hand is the isolating hand. It's gonna go, and I'm gonna put my other hand over top or inside. It's really up to you. For example, if you wanted to isolate up from here, then your hand would need to be on the inside. And if you wanted to isolate down, you'd keep your hand on the outside. So next I'm going to show you guys linear isolations. They look like this. Okay, so again, you're going to start out in the standard isolation, and then you're going to do an iso pop and trace the hoop at the same time. Okay, so remember, this is my isolating hand doing the iso pop, and as I'm prepping for the iso pop, I'm gonna bring my tracing hand in. Okay, so your tracing hand is never actually moving, it's literally just following the motion of the hoop. And your isolating hand, or your dominant hand, is really the only side that's completing the trick. Your other hand is just along for the ride. Now this next one, I guess technically isn't an isolation, but I think it could kind of be in the same category as isolations because it similarly looks like an illusion. So I call this an outer ghosting isolation. Okay. Simply because you're like half isolating it, you're kind of just moving it in a V. I don't know. I think it's a good little transition if you want to throw something funky in there. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you pick a hand that swings, and then you just trace it from the bottom. That's it, and then bring it back. And you could do it as dramatic or as light as you want. I mean, it's really up to how you want to flow with it. So then the last one is a folding isolation. So for this one, you're really gonna need to have that back arm muscle strengthened, the tricep muscle back here, okay? It's really gonna burn, so expect that. But work through it, because once you strengthen that muscle, then you're gonna be able to do so much more with your flow, you know, just really activating new parts of your body that you may not normally use in a day. So anyways, we're gonna start in an isolation, okay? And then we're gonna start the trace with the iso pop. And then once we get here, you're going to hinge your wrists to the right. And then you're going to start going the opposite way with the ghost. And then halfway or a quarter of the way through, you're gonna just turn your body to the right and end here. So your hand is going to be on the outside of the hoop, and then your right hand is going to be, you know, prepped for the next isolation. So from here, you just cat eye it back to the other side, and then you could do it again. Okay, so from the beginning, one more time. Isolate, tracing isopop, hinge in, isolate out, cat eye, isolate, hinge, outward trace, horizontal cat eye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna post a video after this of me flowing to all these different types of isolations so that you can get an idea of how to practice them, or maybe how to incorporate them into your flow. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video.